Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinesha Davis. In this video, we are gonna finally talk about our mortgage payoff update. Yay! All right, listen, y'all. We're still trying to make it work in here with the lighting and the stuff. But know that this office ain't even meant to be aesthetic. I mean, that would be cute if it was aesthetic, but that's not even the purpose right now. The purpose right now is just for me to have a comfortable space that I can work from, feel good working in, and don't have to move around every time I want to set up to work. And so that's what this is, and I'm so happy with it. But our mortgage update, guys, the last time we did this was in October. It was in October. That was the last time. So it is now January now, and we're going to do our update for January. Guys, we have new goals. We have new goals. So what this means is that from this point forward, we're going to have a mortgage update every single month. Why? Because here is our new goal. This is 2025. For the new year, I only have one goal. One dream, one resolution: to pay off this house. To pay off the house. This house will be paid off this year, guys. Inshallah, ashallah. This house will be paid off this year. So we are going to start hitting it hard and heavy. And that's the goal. I don't even know how this is all going to work out. Because the other thing is, we're not going to slow down on traveling. We're not. So the big goal is to pay off the house, plus we're going to continue traveling. So you're not going to see me going super frugal. You're not going to see me going scorched earth. And for some of you, and maybe even to myself, it may seem kind of like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you even going to make this goal because you're out here going all the places, buying all the plane tickets, doing all of the things? But honestly, this is what gets our blood pumping. This is what makes life exciting, because we're going to see how this looks month in, month out, and how we're going to get there. How we're going to get there. So the goal is by December, or our payment in December of 2025 will be our very last payment. That is the goal. That is the goal. But let's talk about where we are right now. So for a lot of you who know, a lot of you have been following this mortgage payoff journey for some years now, that my house cost over $600,000 when I bought it, right? Check out my very first mortgage update, and that should kind of get you up to speed a little bit, or at least where we're coming from when we started. And that's going to be in the eye in the sky. But the thing about it is, when I purchased this home, I had no idea. I wasn't even in the headspace to even think that I could pay off a whole full mortgage. I've never known anybody in my life personally who has ever done that. So it just wasn't a thing. I come from the school of thought that says, you know what, you're always going to have a mortgage payment, or you're always going to have to pay rent. So why rush to pay it off when you can use that money somewhere else? Came from that school of thought. And even when I first started this payoff journey by sending a little something extra to the house, it still was a struggle for me, because I always felt like, but I could use that money somewhere else. I could do something else with that money. And at the time, that something else wasn't even investing in the market or anything like that. It was just, for me, I might need that money to live. I might need that money for an emergency. I might need that money for something else and not this. So I was very satisfied and very content just paying my minimum mortgage payment, which at the time when I first got this house, it was close to $4,000 a month. That was just the regular mortgage payment. When I started on my financial journey, I learned so many things that I could do in how to be a better steward of my finances. And with that, I refinanced this house a few times, all the way until I got my interest rate down to 2.25%, which is what it is today. Okay. I did a few things when I refinanced. One of the things was I never refinanced to pull out equity. I never did that. also, I never refinanced to restart the clock, because one of the things with refinancing is the bank will automatically restart your clock by giving you a new 30-year loan. I didn't want a 30-year loan. I always refinanced, not for anything less, because again, I was still working within what I thought I could comfortably afford, plus what I thought I could comfortably afford if something went awry in my life, whether that was out of a job for a moment, or if some other emergency came up that required more of my money. And we kind of seen this come into play because I did have a rental property. We kind of seen this come into play where my tenant did not pay rent for 18 months. And I had to swing the mortgage for that property and this property because there was nothing I could do about it, because it was during the pandemic when they made evictions illegal, and they did a moratorium where you couldn't even legally evict. So I was stuck, okay? But I was able to swing it. And so so I say that to say, I don't know, what was I saying? I say that to say that when I refinance, oh, I know what I'm saying. I never refinanced for like a lower term, like let's say a 15-year or a 10-year, because I never wanted to be in a position where I had to make a payment that I possibly wasn't in a position to afford. So I always kept my mortgage at the terms of where I left off, meaning that if I refinanced and I had 25 more years left on the loan, that's what I was refinancing for. So don't move it up to 30, keep me at the 25. If I had 22 years left, don't move it to 30, keep me at 22 years. That's what I did. The other thing I did is I paid my own closing costs whenever I refinanced. I never wanted more money added to the loan than necessary. So I would come to the closing with my own, paying my own closing costs, so that I was refinancing for the same amount that I owed, not more. The other thing I did is I still treated my mortgage payment as if the payment was the old payment. Meaning that when I refinanced, if my new term was now no longer $4,000 a month, but let's say it's $3,500, I still pay the additional $4,000 by using that extra $500 to go to principal only. So I still made the payments as if I still had the original mortgage, because in my mind, if I was able to afford that original mortgage, I'm going to continue to afford it. But the difference was now more of my money was going to be going to the interest. More of my money was going to be going to the principal and not the interest. So those are just a few of the little games that I played. And as my muscle grew and as I strengthened my belief system and my desire to pay this house off, I was able to then start sending larger chunks to the principal and not even care, not even sweat it. And I'm talking about thousands and thousands extra at a time. Where when I first started the journey, to send thousands extra was giving me some anxiety, because I was like, again, that mindset of I could be doing something else with this money, right? But now I'm all in, and I am so ready for this journey to come to an end. And I'm so happy for all of you who've been with me on this journey. And I am proud to say that every financial journey that I have set on this channel, I've actually accomplished. I accomplished, and we did not go backwards. We did not go back. And so I'm so excited to finally be able to add this to the list of financial accomplishments. And what are we going to do after this? I don't know at this point, but we'll talk about that once we get there. For now, let's stay right here and talk about this mortgage payoff. So again, the last time we did this was in October, and what we owed then on that last video was, hold on y'all, okay, $138,270. Okay, so let's take a look at where we are now. In November, now this is when I was still playing two games, okay? So one of the games we play is I add a little something extra to the mortgage to make it a nice round number, right? So that the balance is always going to be a nice even number ending in zeros, right? So that's one of the games we play. The other game is whatever I have extra to send to the mortgage. At one point, I was sending it directly to the mortgage. Then the last year or so, I started sending it to a high yield savings account and not directly to the mortgage, okay? And so this November payment reflects that. So for November, we made our regular mortgage payment of $1,535.91. And we're going to just round that up. From that, $1,279 went to the principal and $357 went to interest. And again, I'm just rounding the numbers, okay? And then I made a principal only payment, and this is what it took to bring it to a nice round number of $20.91. And to the right, you can see what the balance was at the time. So so that brought our mortgage balance down to $135,670. Okay? And then in December, this is where I decided to go ahead and start adding the big payments back to the principal again. And so I made my normal mortgage payment of $1,536. Of that, $1,281 went to the principal and $254 went to interest. I then made a principal only payment of $3,638.47. This brought our balance to $130,750. In the month of January, I made my normal mortgage payment of $1,536. Of that, $1,291 went to the principal and $245 went to the interest. I then made a principal only payment of $5,059.25. And this brought us to what we owe right now currently, our current mortgage balance of $124,400. So I'm happy at that. We're at $124,400 what we owe on the house. So that is what we're going to be knocking down between now and December. But a lot of you know that we do have a high yield savings account with Goldman Sachs Marcus account, which I highly recommend. If you want a referral code that would give you a few other perks, email me. My email address is in the description below this video. So shoot me an email. I will give you a referral code and you can make some good interest on the money that you have, the money that you're saving up anyway, and that whole thing. I use my savings account not just for a savings account, but I also have a sub account that I use only for this house to save up extra money that I plan on putting on this house. So right now we're going to take a look at that and what we have in that account, because everything that's in that account, to include the interest that it accrued, is gonna go on this house. It's gonna go toward meeting the goal of paying this house off by December, okay? And so December 31st, because this account pays interest and it repays your referral promotion bonus at on the very last day of every single month. And again, for the referrals, they let us do up to 5 referrals a year. So for the referrals that I have referred, we have some extra money from that. And then also what I do, a lot of you know, because we only can have 5 a year, is that once mine are filled up, I then start referring out other people. So there's some of you who have sent me your referral codes, and I'm able to share that out with the community who asks. So on December 31st, we made $172.69 in interest, and then we made $44.85 in referral promotion. And then right here you can kind of see between October and now, October and December 31st, what we made over the months for interest as well as referral promotion bonuses. Okay, so that's that right there. So with that, it brought that account, our mortgage freedom account, balance to $53,161.20, all of which will be going on this house. Okay, so guys, that's where we are right now. I am so excited for this journey. I'm excited for this house to be paid off. I'm excited for my paycheck, my good government paycheck, to just be mine. Like, for me to have no financial obligations outside of, electricity, things like that, the little things. But I'm excited for that paycheck to belong to me. The fact that I will have absolutely no debt whatsoever. No consumer debt, no car debt, no loans, no student loans. We knocked all of those things out, and the last thing we're knocking out is this mortgage. Okay, so thank y'all so much for being here. Don't forget to thumbs up. I know a lot of you are on a mortgage journey too, so talk to us about your journey down there in the comments, and subscribe if you're not a member of the Fun and Budget Tribe. Until the next video, y'all, peace.